Continuing on the Angkorian trip is the famous Taphrom temple, which is just as famous as the Angkor Wat itself, because of the movie Laracroft, Tombraider, featuring Angelina Jolie, and she's kind of a legend over here. And so this is the temple ticket control. They're going to check the tickets. I'll give you a little bit of an overview. This is the entrance Gopura. The Archaeological Survey of India has assisted in this conservation, and the last time I visited here was 2009. The India-Cambodia Cooperation for Conservation and Restoration. I might say they've done a mighty fine job of preserving this whole area. There's a code of conduct, and of course the visitor flow at the Taphrom temple, where you go in from. And there is no real moat outside at this point of time. This was before conservation and what it looks after the conservation. This feels like an adventure itself, walking inside the forest. Kind of a forested area towards the Taphrom temple complex. You're walking through the entrance of Taphrom, up this wooden path, and into this entrance here, and through a bunch of narrow archways. And these nagas, or the snake guardians, are there at the entrance of most of the Angkor temple sites. I see a lot of Indian tourists, which I did not see 15 years ago. Virtually unknown that time. And there was a comment I had, that was a recollection that I had. Again, how do you start your visit? From down here. Before conservation and when the Indian Archaeological Survey finished, it looked like this, which is a lot different from what it used to be before and what it looks now. That includes the pathway and the before and the after. And then we go in through this. We have to visit. We go around and show you more of what made the Taphrom temple so famous with the international tourists. The movie, of course, that I mentioned just now. Around the complex, you see some really old structures. I'll put the details on the video as I film this. These trees growing out of these complexes is what made it so famous. And these are the cottonwood trees. Like so, these cottonwood trees basically growing out of the stonework, literally. It's quite fascinating. Well, good to see local tourists, domestic tourists as well. And it was explained to me that during this lean season, when the foreigners are not out here in hordes, it's the local people who dominate the scene. They come from usually different parts, Battambang, I think, and then also Phnom Penh, the capital. And they make up for the tourists, for the tourism industry. It's quiet around the surrounding area, except for a few visitors. It's not bad. Look at this tree growing literally out of the wall, between the wall, in fact, and going all the way up. It's massive trees. A lot of the structure is in kind of ruins, and I suppose beyond redemption as far as anything can be done with them. Nice detailed carvings on this complex here. I'll give you a little bit of an overview. And the lion guards the entrances of all the Angkor sites, signifying power and strength. Way of visit. They're marked all over, so you could clearly walk around the complex. And I'm following instructions. And you can see all these trees growing out of the stones, literally between the stones, embracing the stones, part of the structure. That's what's made taphrom so famous. If you watched that movie, you'd have seen Laracroft jump out through the window somewhere here. And moving on into the interior of the Taphrom temple, and that used to be a Buddha whose head is missing as of now. Because how the stones were joined together to form this temple, and in the carvings. And check this out. Check this out. This massive tree has incorporated itself into the stone of the Taphrom temple. Look at these trees. A lot of tourists, even in the non-touristy season. Imagine in the high season what it'll be like. You'd rather be here during the non-touristy season. You come here for two things: architecture and the trees that embrace the architecture. There used to be a shrine in the middle of this for the Buddha. And into the darkness again. And the roof has caved in.
Oh yeah, that's definitely it. Is this the one? Oh.
Quite fascinating. There's always dancing girls at the entrance of some of these temples. It's a happy place. Well, here's another one of these trees growing out of between the rocks.
So after that, you can do photos. Yeah. Okay. You just take a tree photo first, and then we will go up take your photo. Yeah.
Might not be a good one during here. You want to go like that? Yeah, we'll wait.
일로 가는 것 같은데? 일로 나가는 것 같은데?
exiting the complex. I hope you don't fast forward through any of this, because this is the important part of the taphrom complex. Well, all of them are. Everything I'm showing you is of interest. That's explaining everything. End of the visit. And out the complex we go. One last look at the from. My third visit here. Thanks for joining me again. I hope you're not all templed out. There's still more to see in this series of Siem Reap, Cambodia. Ciao for now.